Well, oh boy. We got the new skills, which is cool. Um, it was really cool. I know I said I wouldn't talk about speed duels on this channel too much anymore, but this warranted it. Mainly on the fact that it was kind of crazy. There's a couple of these skills that are really, really good. Hey, there's a couple of these skills that are like really, really good. That I'm super excited for. Like I said, I said I wouldn't talk about speed duels too much on the channel anymore, but you know, first off, I want to take this off. It's too hot. I said that I wouldn't talk about speed duels, but it's kind of warrants it. Mainly for the fact that there's about 2 or 3 out of the 8 skills that were announced that are just completely bonkers, in my opinion at least, and apparently in a lot of other people's opinions too. They're just crazy. My computer's glitching out, which is weird, but it's worth it. So Twitch update about moving to Twitch. It's going slow right now. I'm just not being able to buy the stuff that I need to buy with the lack of job, with the equipment to actually stream properly on Twitch without it being a total clusterfuck. But everything else is going to be eventually going to be moving to Twitch because it's a lot easier to stream on it, but the quality needs to be there. And if it's not there, I'm not going to stream on it because it's not worth it at all. But the skills, back to topic, the skills are actually really interesting. Hold on, let me see if we can pull them up. If I can find them. They're just really interesting and really good. I don't think I'm logged onto Facebook on here, but we'll see. But the actual skills themselves are... I'll talk after I'm done logging in, I guess. Come on. Let's see if that's the correct password. Yep. Okay. But anyway, these skills are pretty crazy, and we'll go over them one by one, and we'll talk about them and uses and stuff like that. And if you guys don't play speed duels, then oh well, I guess. This is just, I guess, more or less for me, but we'll see. Allow. Whatever. If I can get to it. Maybe. Speed duels. There it is. But overall, these skills are just amazing for the most part. We'll start off with the Yugi ones, I guess, and we'll go from there. Amazing skills. Amazing skills. That's what you missed, man. Haven't heard from you in a long time, so it's like crazy to see that, to see you in here. So the first one is Yugi skill, going over it, called Ritual of Black Mastery. You activate this skill during your main phase while you control Blackluster Soldier or Magician of Black Chaos that you ritual summon this turn. You can activate the skill according to whichever one that you have. So the first one is, while you control Blackluster Soldier, it cannot be destroyed by your opponent's skill. Also, once per turn, if your opponent activates a trap card, draw one card immediately after it resolves. I mean, it's good against, what, I guess, the Serpent Knight deck, but nobody plays that anymore, so it doesn't matter. The drawing's cool. Resource control and stuff like that, but the other one's better in my opinion, and that's why you control Magician of Black Chaos. It can't not be destroyed by your opponent's spell effects. Really, really good. Also, if your Magician of Black Chaos destroys a monster by battle, you get to add a spell from your graveyard to your hand. So they kind of give it a pseudo Dark Magician of Chaos effect where you have spell recursion from the graveyard. That's really cool. Is it worthwhile? Maybe. It's worth testing at least. It's really, really good. The second Yugi skill, in my opinion, is the better one, which it's, what's it called? Knight of Legend, which states, activate the skill during your main phase. Each turn, one Gaia the Fierce Knight you normal summon can be summoned without tributing, so it becomes a free 2300 beat stick if you use this skill. And then it says apply the following skills while you control a Gaia the Fierce Knight monster or a Gaia the Dragon Champion monster. First effect is, if it attacks a defense position monster, inflict piercing battle damage once per turn. If it inflicts battle damage with this skill, draw 2 cards and discard a card. It's literally the continuous spell card in skill form. That's what it is. And then the other effect is you cannot activate set cards in the spell and trap zone. So there is a downside to it. It's a pretty big glaring downside too. What is good about it, other than the 2300 beat stick and then drawing cards and stuff like that? I don't know. You can obviously find something. It's definitely worth playing and testing and finding neat little combos with it. Definitely worth it. The not setting spell and trap cards or activating set spell and trap cards, kind of bad. But I guess you can make the point that if you lose the monster, you can activate them. You could also start playing a lot more Waking the Dragon if you wanted, I guess, because you don't activate the set card. It does it in grave or when it's banished. Moving on to the opposite side of that that deck is the Pegasus stuff. There's 2. We'll talk about the lackluster one first. That's Toon Mayhem. Everybody thought this was going to be great. It's going to give a huge boost to tunes. It'd be fun to play tunes. It's so simple. It says the first time each tune world in your spell and trap zone will be destroyed each turn, it is not destroyed. It's just protection for Toon World. So instead of giving us something like Field Barrier or, what is that? The spell card that protects or the card guard or whatever, they gave us this, which is fine, but it's bad because now you actually have to play Toon World and pay the 1,000, and at that point it's not really worth it in my opinion. But again, my opinion. The other Pegasus skill is you activate the skill during your main phase. Oh, by the way, I'm going too fast for this. It's called, oh no, I moved past it. It's called, let me bring this up bigger. It's called Thousand Eyes Spell, and boy is this thing just amazing. It really is. I'm not saying that just to say it. It really is amazing. It says, activate the skill during your main phase. Once per turn, you can discard 1 card and use one of the following skills, but you cannot conduct your battle phase this turn. It's a little bit of a drawback, but once you hear the skills effects, you'll be like, yeah, this is really good. The first one is you ritual summon 1 relinquished from your hand by tributing a monster from your hand or field whose level is 1 or more. Also, flip the card over. All right. Sonic Bird and ritual spell for relinquish not required anymore. I mean, not really, but it's worth talking about for sure. Really, really cool. The other effect is you can fusion summon 1,000 Eyes Restrict from your extra deck using monsters from your hand or field as fusion materials. Also flip this card over. This does not have a once per duel effect or restriction how many times per duel. It's just once per turn. That's good. That's really good. Not only is it the ritual spell for relinquish, but it's also a polymerization for Thousand Eyes Restrict. Granted, you still have to run Thousand Eyes Idle, but at that point you can also, use it for relinquished. There's nothing bad about this skill that I can see. and making, basically ditching any card out of your hand and making it, you know, the corresponding polymerization, or the ritual card is, the ritual spell is ridiculous. Um, every card is now a polymerization or the ritual spell, and obviously you can tell I'm most excited about this one. I play Relinquish. This is great. Yeah, you can't go into your battle phase this turn, or you can't conduct your battle phase this turn. That's fine. You're playing the long game anyway. Besides, if you're summoning Thousand Eyes Restrict, you're not worried about your opponent really attacking too much going forward, and you don't have to worry about running out of ritual spells anymore for Relinquish, because that was a big thing. If you would, have something negated, and then all of a sudden, you don't have enough ritual spells for Relinquish. That's another thing. You don't have to worry about this getting negated. You can't negate skill effects, so this is going to be played all the way out. And it's just great. They can't Floodgate Trap Hole it, because same thing with the Moth skill. When it's summoned, it has to actually resolve the complete summon. There's no window for you to activate that, so it's the exact same thing. Really, really good. Anything that gets that skill summon boost that you can't respond to it, amazing. But anyway, after that, we'll move on to the Merrick and Bakura. Start with Bakura first because he's more lackluster in my opinion. The first one's called Into the Darkness Below. It says activate the skill during your main phase. Once returned, you can discard one normal fiend monster, then use one of the following skills, and the following skills include either draw one card and then flip this card over, or if you have 4 or more fiend normal monsters with different names in your graveyard, add one monster from your deck to your hand, also flip this card over. So it either becomes draw, or if you have enough normal fiends with different names in the graveyard, 4 of them, you can search for any card. So regarding Bakura, obviously you search Dark Necrofear. Is it great? No, but there is something you can do with it. Obviously playing normal monsters and their normal monster spell cards, and just playing that game until you get to Dark Necrofear. 2800 defense, 2200 attack, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. Really, really good. And the effect for Dark Necrofear is, it's alright, right? The next Bakura skill, hey, what's up, man? The next Bakura skill is called Inner Conflict. It says activate the skill during your main phase, once per duel. Yeah, it's already bad. You can pay half your life points, it's even worse, and take control of one monster your opponent controls until the end phase, but it cannot attack directly this turn. It's a change of heart. It's a bad change of heart. Because you just take a monster, but it can't attack directly. It can attack, but it just can't attack directly. It's mediocre. Unless there's just something that you can't get over and you would like to tribute summon it off and you don't play Santa Claus or what's it called, Lava Golem for whatever reason, then I guess this is good. But yeah, or if your opponent has 2 big bead sticks and you need to get rid of them both, yeah, this is fine. Is it worth it? It's debatable. Going into Merrick's skills, we'll go with the bad one first. It's activate this. It's called Shadow Reborn. It says activate the skill during your main phase. Once per duel, you can pay half your life points. Again, same qualifications as the other one. And special summon one monster from either graveyard, but your opponent takes no battle damage this turn. This is a terrible Monster Reborn. That's all it is. It's a terrible Monster Reborn. J-Ruck, the difference between speed duels and normal duels is speed duels kind of follows the same rules as Duel Links. So 4,000 life points, 4 cards starting hands, 3 monster and spell and trap zones, 20 to 30 card decks, 4,000 life points. I think I just said that. And no main phase 2, and skills. They have skills. I truly believe everybody should check out Speed Duels at least once, try to play it, have fun with it. But there is a competitive scene when things go back up for Speed Duels. It's a lot of fun. Yeah. And then the last skill for Merrick is called Twisted Personality, and this is probably the most bonkers, just absolute crazy skill that can be. It says each time a player loses life points, place one counter on this card, maximum 3. It literally is Duel Links. Yes, it's real life Duel Links. Anyway, each time a player loses life points, any player, place one counter on this card, max 3. Once per turn during your main phase, you can use one of the following skills, and there's 2. The first one says remove 2 counters from this card, then discard 1 random card from your opponent's hand. So, Danique's little curtain or fitting room Light Force sword deck is amazing, first off. And the second effect is remove 3 counters from this card, then destroy 1 face-up card your opponent controls. This helps and hurts burn. It hurts and helps burn, and it's crazy. This is definitely a side deck skill that every deck should have in their side deck. There's no reason not to play it, because if you're playing against burn, you're always going to pop face-up cards, especially if you're playing with Gap the Divine Soldier as well, which has been announced for the Speed Duel decks. That switches everything to face-up instead of being face-down, so you know what's there, and you can pop it with this if you take effect damage and stuff like that. It's good. It's really good. It's almost too good, and it's not a once per duel or twice per duel effect. It's a once per your main phase, which is crazy. And it's anytime any player takes battle damage. So if you attack and do damage 3 separate times, or by card effect 3 separate times, or if you play the Enchanted Fitting Room card that pay 800, you'll put a counter on this. Any time anybody's life points go down, this is going to gain a counter for each time. And that is so easy to fulfill. It's crazy. This is one of those times where I would say that for once a skill should be rarity upgraded in the Speed Duel tournament packs. So every card, J-Rock, looks the same, except for skill cards, which are just literally, that's a bad angle. They're just blue cards for skill cards. But everything else pretty much looks the same. They have a Speed Duel watermark, but that's about it. But yeah. So there's probably, like, right off the bat, right? There's 2 skills that concern me in good and bad ways. The first one is obviously this one, the Twisted Personality, to pop face-up cards, or there's no ban list for it yet, by the way. Just to answer that question, there is no ban list for it. It's a free-for-all. Whatever's available in the card pool, you can use. Everything's at 3-ups. The Gaia skill does look fun for casual decks, I will admit. I think maybe eventually down the line there will be something real niche that you can use, and it'll be really good, kind of like in Duel Links we had the level 7 deck that used the Paradox Brothers skill that you could summon a level 7. This is what it kind of reminds me of. I just wish it was better, right? But eventually I'm sure it'll get there. It's definitely worth something holding on to, if not only just playing casual play. It's definitely worth holding on to. But Twisted Personality is something that concerns me, makes me want to really not play speed duels, but I do because it's going to be great. It's one of the few cards where I would say, yes, it does deserve a rarity bump. It deserves a rarity bump in the tournament pack for Speed Duels, the next one that comes up. Do I play Duel Links a lot? I do not play Duel Links, but I've watched how the meta has evolved in Duel Links, and so instead of playing, I've watched it. You can use Speed Duel cards in real duel, but you cannot use Speed Duel. You can use Speed Duel cards in real duels. No skills though, yeah, but you can't use non-Speed Duel cards in non-Speed Duels. Yes, basically. So you have to literally get another copy of the same card from the actual Speed Duel sets to play it legally. But then you can bring those cards you got from the Speed Duel sets into Master Duel, regular Yu-Gi-Oh, right? But yeah. yeah. And But the other skill is obviously the relinquish one. It concerns me. It makes me feel relinquished as tier 1 for the fact that it can summon a lot. It has options, and it has the option to actually summon Thousand Eyes as well, which is crazy because that is the added benefit of making sure nobody can really attack except itself. Is it worth it? It's fine. Ritual Black Master Seal Destruction Protection. Interesting how it counters Nightmare Sonic Blast. Yeah, that's what I was saying when I first went over it, is it counters stuff like Nightmare Sonic Blast, which is weird. So maybe that's something, again, to look forward to in the future, how it affects the meta. Will something come along that actually destroys more like the Nightmare Sonic Blast? If so, then the card becomes even a lot better. I do think the Magician of Black Chaos effect on that is a lot higher. Oh no, we don't need P.O.G. We already have Allure of Darkness. It's fine. We're going to be getting Allure of Darkness this Friday for speed duels. So yeah, Pot of Greed? Nah, don't need it. We got Allure of Darkness. Which means, again, I mentioned a guy by the name of Danique. He is a German who has made a blueprint for a deck that he calls Hand Destruction. And the deck that he made revolves around things like Wonder Wands, Flame Manipulators, other normal monsters, the Fitting Room card, and Light Force Sword, and Dark Red Enchanter, and stuff like that. Now that we're getting the Thousand Eyes Idol, it's another spellcaster to use with Wonder Wand. You're getting the Twisted Personality skill to rip more cards out of their hand, because you're going to be taking damage yourself when you use the Fitting Room Pain 800. The fact that the guy came across something that was gimmicky and now it's like really good, especially Allure of Darkness too. You play a lot of dark monsters. It's ridiculous. there's nothing else to really say about it. You play that, you play Light Force Sword, Dark Red Enchanter, and again, powering through those cards is so easy. It's ridiculous. You mentioned the normal Fiend skill, which is alright. It's called Into the Darkness Below. It's interesting. I can see it. I can see it being used, but it's not... I don't know. I think you would have it in the same type of deck that Danique would play, which that being normal monster spam, playing things like Creature Seizure and stuff like that, and playing that game and then using Dark Necrofear as just like the last little cherry on top of like a boss monster or something like that. I think that would be fine. You don't really need to boost your monsters because we have things like Creature Seizure. We have things like, what's the other one that got announced that deals with Faustian Bargain and stuff like that. It has so much removal that it's not really a problem. That's one of the big things about normal monster decks that made them not as good during this previous format, is that the fact that they didn't have a lot of actual removal except for Order to Charge. So regarding the guy that bought out the Parasite Paranoids, I don't know what happened to him. He blocked me. So that's his business. But yeah, this really shakes things up. I didn't make a video regarding the actual cards, like the monster spells and traps in the structure decks, but they're pretty good. Yeah, they're like 2021 now, yeah. And even then, deck's pretty much dead. Hear me out. Alright, Moth decks are dead. Mainly for the fact that you have things like Zoma the Spirit that we're going to be getting that you can just attack into it, but yeah, there's just so much. There are gonna be so many decks that you can play. And the fact that, we have things like the Twisted Nightmare. Again, I'm pretty sure Matthew Bell made Twisted Nightmare literally to counteract the burn/stall decks, which is great. It's amazing. But it's good. I'm excited to see where this goes. Right now, the meta for Speed Duel is Moth, Perfectly Ultimate Great Moth. With some Gravekeeper thrown in there. That's literally what it's been for the last, well, since December. Um, there's not really anything else that gets over it. It's just not a fun deck to play against because it has great removal at the same time as it summons a 3500 attack beat stick, and then the skill has an added effect of once per duel returning, a card from the graveyard to the deck and then drawing. Yeah, literally perfectly ultimate Great Moth with Parasite Paranoid and the skill that goes along with it. That's the whole deck mainly. It's great removal, great OTK. Not fun to actually play in this format, but that's what it was. Excuse me. Should be able to discard Thousand Eyes spell, discard 4,000 Eyes spell, and then use the same card if a Djinn or Sphere Creo for the ritual summon. I want to say yes. I want to say yes, which is crazy. Imagine like I said, I want to say yes, and if it is a yes, well, I need to double check that. I'll ask that in the official Discord for the Speed Duel that Matthew Bell runs. He answers these questions a lot, but I want to say yes. Don't quote me, but I want to say yes. Okay, which makes Summoning Relinquish 2 cards now. That's crazy. That is literally crazy. Yeah, you have to draw into it. Who cares, right? Even then, you draw into Senju in that card. Summon Senju effect, search, add, skill, discard, banish, relinquish. Crazy. And unaffected by traps. Which, obviously, that's the one that's going to be used more, is obviously the ritual one. But I can see some people using the fusion one just to use it. I'm sure there will be people who want to play Thousand Eyes Restrict over Relinquished. Why you would, I don't know. Relinquished can actually force ties. Thousand Eyes can't. But, like, I get it. I can see some stall decks trying to make something with Thousand Eyes as an extra little cherry on top. But I can see them wanting to use Twisted Nightmare more. For sure. But I do believe that is correct. I do believe you would be able to discard a Djinn or Sphere Kuriboh and then use that same card as the material for it. But yeah. It's interesting. I am super excited. Or even if you Sphere or Mandrew or whatever, because it's skill ritual, they don't get to Floodgate. Exactly. You don't have to use the Djinn because they're not going to be able to do anything to it upon summon because there's no window for it. It's the same thing as the Moth skills. There's no window for opportunity to activate upon summon, which is interesting. Really, really cool. It's kind of almost, it's not, but almost broken. I'm excited. Like I said, as a Relinquished player, I'm excited. Definitely be testing a lot of things out. I want to get the cards on Friday. It's great. Another thing I do want to talk about is something I haven't talked about since last June or July. Whenever Scars of Battle came out, I know Billy will remember when I talked about machines, and I talked about spell-proof armor machines. Well, there was another skill that came out from Andy Keith that was just terrible, and that was Heavy Metal Raiders. The card was terrible for multiple reasons. There's 3 main ones. The first one was it made you start with 1 less card in your hand, so instead of starting out with 4 cards in your hand, you started out with 3. The second worst thing is that it was a field spell card, so it was prone to being popped, removed from the field, and probably the most important thing that was just terrible was the fact that there were not enough dark machine monsters. Now we're getting Dralago, Balganian, things like that. It's worth playing. Machine Burn, and then give it attack while it would be destroyed. And then just go in and poke. That'd be great. Or if your opponent's dumb enough and they attack over the Dralago, it gets big boost attack, and if they have 1800 or more attack directly with whatever attack that it has. There's a lot of things that can go on. Everything's worth trying right now and testing, especially at the beginning. So I'm super excited to see where it goes. Regarding Toon Mayhem, oh god, I hate the card. I think it's terrible. I don't think it's any better. Does it help Toons a little bit? Yeah, it helps their Fatal Flaw once per turn. The only other good thing about Toons is the fact that they gave us the new Toon monsters that aren't destroyed when Toon World's destroyed. That's cool. Everybody was hoping it would be Toon Kingdom, including me, but it's not, so oh well. But it's fine. It's fine. I feel like a lot of people are gonna play Toon Gemini Elf is great too. I feel like a lot of people are gonna play Zoma the Spirit, the trap monster that does damage to your opponent equal to whatever killed it or something like that. I think that's what it does. I don't remember. I haven't seen the card in forever. All I remember is people were talking about it, and that's one thing is that Toons will be able to just leap over that and not have to worry about it. I mean, sure they can attack into you, but it's not that big of a deal. Toon Barrel Dragon, in my opinion, the better Barrel Dragon, because it doesn't just pop certain cards, it pops basically almost anything. This is the better option between itself and its original counterpart. But other than that, it's just great. Yeah, and that's one of the main reasons that Moth is kind of gonna go downhill. Moth is following along the footsteps of where Serpent Knight Dragon did, and the fact that there's a certain card that came out that just stops it. Yes, I'm still in normal Yu-Gi-Oh! It's just nothing really happening for me that's really exciting, other than me helping buy out Mechalords. But yeah. Yeah, Zoma crashing into Moth is just huge. Crazy huge. Obviously going Moth and then doing any of the other cards that do burn damage, whether it be Gravekeeper's Curse or whatever, is just like instant game against Moth. So you really can punish your opponent for bringing out a big monster and trying to end game on you just by using Zoma. I think it's cool that we actually are getting trap monsters and stuff like that, because eventually, if obviously we're in Battle City arc now for speed duels, it'd be nice to get Odeon and having a skill regarding, you know, trap monsters, because we have 2 now, technically 3 with golden apples, but man, it's not really a trap monster. It makes a token, I guess. So yeah, we really only have 2. But yeah, it'd be nice to see something with Odeon, and this is a step in the right direction for that. And Zoma's synergy with Lava Golem is amazing. I'm glad they didn't just give us Lava Golem and they gave us the Santa Claus too. Santa Claus and Lava Golem. I think that's great that they gave us one that was able to get rid of 1 card and one that's able to get rid of 2 cards while not giving us Kaijus. I think that's perfect. Because if you give us Kaijus, there's no real defense for that. It just kind of becomes Kaiju format. It's not fun. But with Santa Claus, you can give your opponent something, but during the end phase, they'll draw a card for it. So it's an offset, but it's a good offset, especially if it's something you can't deal with other cards. It's definitely worth it. I know a lot of people were talking about Lava Golem and Amazoness Swordswoman being like super relevant in the meta, but with like everything that's just been announced, I don't think that's possible, especially with Twisted Nightmare. It's not worth it, you know? People are like, oh, it's gonna be like Duel Links. It's gonna have the same format as Duel Links. No. Which is fine. Which I told people, I was like, well, let's see what cards come out, and we'll get there, and with whatever comes out, right? I said, we'll get there. Let's wait and see, and then we can analyze. People said, no, Lava Golem. You're stupid for saying Lava Golem won't be important. Yeah, it'll play a role in a lot of deciding factors for some games, but it's not like it's going to dominate the format. Obviously now, we know that. But, you know, seeing cards is important. Yeah, Twister with... Twister gets a huge boost with Twisted, or what is it called? The Merrick skill. Twisted Personality. Twister with Twisted Personality. Twisted. Twisted Twister. There you go. Twisted Twister. Yeah, I've seen the new Utopia card with the astral language. That's pretty cool. And if they only print it in Japan, that's fine. get the Japan one. It's the same if it was going to be in English, just have an English card present. It's the same thing. I think nobody would complain about that. But overall, these skills are just crazy. It changes the game. I like it. Yep. Yep. You have so much crap going on regarding Twisted. Again, my belief is Twisted personality is the star skill of these structure decks. Where Nightmare Sonic Blast came through in the last one as, you know, the star for a while. I think Twisted Twisted Personality is something that's going to stay around for a very long time, or at least a format or two, and just cause a lot of mayhem, whether it be the main skill that people use, if they're playing Burn or whatever themselves, or if it's a side deck card that people side in against Burn and Stall. There's no way that this card is not going to be used in some way that shapes the meta for speed duels. The card's just too good. There's no reason not to play it or to play it in side deck. It deserves a spot, obviously. And that's the truth. There's nothing about it. That just gets stronger the more you read it. It's so good. Yeah, like there's so many applications for it because, oh my god, you can do it to yourself. Your opponent can do it to you. You can do it to your opponent. You know, the damage, the life point loss. And it's easy to do that multiple times within a turn and get the 3 max counters. Which scares me because obviously, again, I keep bringing it up to Neek. I was gonna try playing the deck that he made and fixing it up, but I think it's respectful to just let him do it first and then look at it and work off of that. I think trying to go for it and take it as my own is very bad. Because this is his baby in a sense of the deck that he made by himself as a gimmick deck that has now evolved into something that is potentially really threatening, especially with ripping a card out of your opponent's hand. Start with 4 cards, right? That's 3. Getting Dark Red Enchanter on the field, taking another card, that's 2. And then setting the Light Force Swords, because it's going to be easy with Allured Darkness, it's going to be easy with Wonder Wand, White Elephant's Gift to draw into all 3 of them. And then during your opponent's draw phase, activating all 3, because they're going to draw, activating all 3, and then having them have no cards in their hand, and then next turn just going for game. That's scary. It's very scary. What would you have to do against that? That honestly just feels like a die roll decision game. Which, in a sense, it kind of makes it not worth playing unless everybody's playing it, right? And that is something that we see happening, is that once something comes out from Danique, once it comes out from Ryan, once it comes out from Marco or Steinman, or who else puts out decks that people actually listen to. Any of those, once they put something out, people take it and they run with it. And then that's what they do. And then until a big event comes along, those same guys find a way to beat their own decks that they made, and then they just top. And that's the same reason these guys are always topping, is that exact reason. Yes, I like the fact that, here's the thing, right? Those are the cards that they were talking about that are based on the spell cards that they use, right? It's obviously Change of Heart and it's Monster Reborn, but it's terrible with Change of Heart and Monster Reborn. I hope that's not the last time we see cards that are like that, or those cards specifically, Monster Reborn. Obviously, we don't need Monster Reborn, but Change of Heart, maybe like Mind Control, Brain Control, or whatever the hell it was called, either or. That'd be nice to see, but I hope this isn't the last time we see those types of effects of those cards. Because they're just terrible. They're disappointing. They truly are. Truly disappointing. Maybe the Change of Heart one less so than the Monster Reborn one, but they're still disappointing, especially since they're once per duel. If they were once per turn or twice per duel, it'd be a little bit more worth it. But this, it's unfortunate. The art for the cards, though, are nice. I'm glad the poses that they used for Merrick and Bakura. I'm talking about the new Speed Duel skill cards that were announced today. If you haven't seen what they do, you can go on to Facebook. There's a whole bunch of Speed Duel Facebook groups you go on. It's literally close to the top. You can read them all for yourself. I don't know if Yu-Gi-Oh! Organization has updated their stuff yet. Hold on, let me actually check. I am curious. But we'll see. Yeah, the Twisted Personality, like I said, if you're not playing Twisted Personality as your main skill, it needs to be in the side. I don't think anybody would disagree with that. If they are disagreeing with that, that's bad. They're probably going to lose. Everybody needs to have that either as their main or especially 100% as in their side. No doubt. There's no reason not to. It's just a good card. But overall, everything else is interesting. So Twisted Personality says that whenever a player loses life points, you put a counter on the card. The card can hold 3 counters max. And then once per turn during your main phase, you can activate one of the following effects. The first one is you remove 2 counters from the card. You discard a random card out of your opponent's hand. Or you remove 3 counters from the card and you get to destroy a face-up card on your opponent's side of the field. Very simple effect, very potent, because losing life points happens constantly in speed duels, whether it be as cost, or it's just battle in general, or burn from your opponent's card effects. It happens constantly. We have plenty of cards that do that. So being able to actually remove those problems is amazing. Or to rip a resource out of your opponent's hand is amazing. Wikipedia has the 4 skills up with pages, those being Match of the Millennium skills, and someone was working on the skill pages for Mary. Okay, good. That's good. I was going to check and see if Yu-Gi-Oh! Org had... They don't. Well, they have something here for Familiar Possessed, which is cool. There's a token card here. Oh, this is cute. This is cool. There is... multiple tokens. Oh, that's nice. I'm gonna have to buy this on a tangent. This Familiar Possessed is nice. If you go on Yu-Gi-Oh! Org, there's a nice little thing. 5 tokens, 4 alt arts. Those alt arts are pretty cool too. But yeah, I like it. Really, really nice. I like things like that. I enjoy the Charmers and Familiar Possessed stuff. So, but yeah, back on Speed Duels. This is interesting. Like I said, I think a lot of the other skills are worth testing, playing around with, obviously casual and stuff like that. So it's worth it, especially holding on to them to check out. Oh yeah, I don't think they have token spawning cards, so that's nice to see that we will have some type of token spawning cards for the new support. Yes, exactly. So we'll see how it goes. Hopefully, it spawns a token on summon of a Charmer of the same type and attribute and blah, 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 blah. Mainly the attribute, same attribute. That'd be interesting. Fingers crossed. But I will be, hopefully Friday, opening up the new structure decks. There's already a guy on YouTube that has opened both of them. So if you're curious and don't want to wait for my videos, go watch them. There is a guy that has opened both up. It's in English, so worth the watch. I watched it. Cool stuff. Oh, regarding the foil variant cards, which is that comes in the decks, it's which is DD Crow, what's it called? It's DD Crow, it's, why am I forgetting? Advanced Ritual Art, why can't I remember the other two? Magical Stone Excavation, and, What is the other one? Magical Stone Excavation. Santa Claus. I just mentioned it. Thank you. Santa Claus. It's Santa Claus. Those are good. Especially Advanced Ritual Art. We were already talking about Relinquished. Worth it. And then even worth playing the A Thousand Eyes Idol. So that way you have access to both of them, I guess. But it's debatable. But when it comes to somebody mentioned a Speedo Regional, they have side events at YCS's. Not right now, obviously, but they did. Cool. They're cool side events. Never got to play in one. Too busy, obviously, stuff like that. But really, really cool. People seem to enjoy them for the most part. But there was... I don't want to say that there was a plan to make Speed Duel regionals, but there was a plan to ramp up Speed Duels into that same competitive light as Master, right? Per Matthew Bell. Obviously, in his words, putting, all your eggs in one basket is not good. It is unfortunate, and the fact that they said, that it has, a strategy based around Dark Lucius, you would think, excuse me, my nose itches, you would think that it would have, a skill that, goes around with it. Especially if it says, oh, there's a strategy for Dark Lucius in here. Level up is not good enough. You can't just go level 4, level up to level 6, attack over next turn, get level 8. It's not worth it. I'm glad they put in a lot of cards that negate monsters that were destroyed by battle, their card effects in graveyard. I'm glad. That stops a lot of the zombie loop stalls. But it's not enough. It's nice you contribute them to level 6 for other things that get stuck with like nightmare wheels and everything like that, but it's not enough. It's still pretty bad. Unless they're going to make, the next set is going to have, skill for them, which I doubt. Like, there's not much that you can really say about that. It's unfortunate. The only strategy is using Inner Conflict for level 6. Yeah, level up with the spell. See, but the problem is that when you use level up, with Dark Lucius at least, it doesn't gain the effect that it says this card must be special summon with the effect of the previous one. It won't gain that effect, which sucks. So it just becomes 2800 if you're summoning the level 8. Yeah, that's what it was like, oh, we can just level it up. Yeah, but it doesn't gain the effect. So it's unfortunate. But if we get other level monsters, eventually Armed Dragon, Silent Swordsman, stuff like that, then level up becomes really, really good. But if it's just what's there, it's bad. Got Dark Mimics too, which was interesting, I guess, for people that want to draw more. I guess. I don't get it personally, but, if someone makes something, I'm not going to complain. Prove me wrong, please. Somebody make something with the Dark Mimic level monsters, and it'd be awesome. But if not, it's fine. Nobody really plays it anyway. You better flip draw cards like the Koichi, which you can use with Heavy Metal Raiders. So that is one thing I'll be working on, is a Heavy Metal Raiders burn deck for Speed Duels. I'll see how that goes. I'm always hopeful for machines one day. But if we get Armed Dragon, I hope we get Oja Magic. Yeah. I wouldn't mind Ojamas and Armed Dragons, but I think removing the newer cards that link them together, if we don't get those, then I'd be fine with it. I don't know. I'm really not fine with Ojamas being in Speed Duels, like, ever. But I obviously, Matt has said that he doesn't want to incorporate ban lists until he really needs to. So I think eventually we'll just ramp up to a point where, gradually, still not having a ban list and making it out to that point where everything has just been power creeped. But we'll have to see. I don't know why, and I don't know who, but I like it, has started buying out the tournament pack stuff. Really, really great. Obviously, things like Dark Magician and Blue Eyes have always been expensive for the tournament pack stuff. But I'm glad I'm starting to see things like Relinquish going up to $100 for the ultra rares. That's really nice. While still being able to play Relinquished as commons in Speed Duels. And that's a really great business model to have, to allow people to play every deck, basically every deck, relatively cheap, and giving people the option to upgrade things. I enjoy that a lot better than making everything super duper expensive and short printed, because that really doesn't really happen too much in Speed Duels, which is cool. Of course, with John's Arm Dragon, 6 we probably won't have it to start. Yeah, obviously. So we got a ways off. We got at least maybe a year and a half if we get, the Speed Duel stuff as far apart as we do. Another thing to consider, now that we're in Battle City arc, will we get God cards? Maybe. Hopefully we do it, if I remember correctly, like Duel Links did. They started off with Obelisk, I believe, and then slowly introduced the others, which obviously would be the right decision. You can make that a selling point of your sets. To say, oh, look what we're finally getting in Speed Duels. That'd be a great point, a selling point. Because the last one had 3 boxes? 4 boxes. So yeah, you can, 4 boxes, an arc. You can definitely spread those out and make it interesting. But yeah. It was the third. What was the first? Are we sure that was the third? I'm not sure, because I remember following Duel Links. I remember following Duel Links, falling off of it, and then coming back right after the God card stuff was introduced. If I remember correctly. I'm not sure. Raw might have been the first. I might have them backwards in my mind. You might be right. Because I definitely remember Slifer being second. Yeah, it might have been Raw. I'm not sure. I could be wrong. I'm not sure. All I remember for sure was that Slifer was in the middle. But yeah, definitely worth looking at. Really, really cool. I think introducing any type of God cards when we have stuff like, the Enchanted Fitting Room decks is a big mistake. But we'll see what happens. Hopefully, these structure decks shake up the game enough where people want to start playing again, because it's been really boring for a lot of people. Just saying moth, constantly. Moth with Gravekeepers, Gravekeepers with moths. So hopefully we'll see some new decks. Hopefully see 2 to 3 decks constantly topping, not just one. And eventually just seeing a lot of better plays overall. One last thing though, a Twisted Personality. I'm hoping to see, along with Despair from the Dark that we already have, I am hoping to see more cards that have effects. Excuse me, I got indigestion, I guess. I like to see more cards with effects that have effects that are activated when discarded from the hand. Electric Snake. Especially if Danique's deck becomes a problem, I would love to see something like Electric Snake getting it discarded out of my hand, and then drawing 2 new cards, so that way at least it doesn't, completely put me out of the game, right? Or completely put anybody out of the game. Well, I do see the deck as being only relevant in a format that was like Moth format, where everybody's just playing the same thing. I think that the deck isn't the best, but yeah. I really think that stuff like Zoma the Spirit will just knock Moth off the map. Playing cards like Zoma literally makes sure Zoma, Twisted Personality, what else did we have? Things like Creature Seizure and stuff like that that literally rewards you for your opponent overextending is just amazing. So I really feel like Moth just falls off. So hopefully, yeah. So Zoma says it's the trap that special summons itself as a monster, and when it gets destroyed by battle with an opponent's monster, your opponent takes damage equal to the monster destroyed it. It's kind of like a worse, I don't want to call it worse, but it's like a version of that, what is it, Magical Reflector, the 1700 monster that attacks and it does damage to your opponent equal to whatever the attack of that monster is. Except it works both ways. So you can attack with it and crash into something and then deal the damage to your opponent, or you can let your opponent attack into it and decide they wouldn't take that damage. So something like that against Moth, obviously taking away everything but 500 is super great. Saying that and then, you know, maybe like taking in something like Gravekeeper's Curse to summon it and deal 500 damage and then calling it game is ridiculous. Or Mask of the Accursed, or Nightmare Wheel, or I don't know, what else does 500 damage? There's a lot. There's a lot. So it'll be nice to see that curbed. I think we'll see Burn curbed a little bit too. We'll see that just kind of not go away completely. We'll still see people play it because there are people that are still like that. But we'll see it curbed off a bit, especially again with something like Twisted Personality that just wrecks that. And I honestly feel like you'll see more people also playing again Twister. Twister and Twisted Personality is just the perfect storm, no pun intended, for you know, getting rid of stuff like Stall and Burn. Because your opponent has 2 Master of the Accursed, you're going to be taking 500 twice, it's 2, so yeah. And then obviously the Twister and popping a, you know, face-up card, spell back row, it's great. Excuse me. And then obviously popping another card with Twisted Nightmare. I do feel like Gap, the Divine, I think that's how you say his name, Gap, the Divine Soldier is another card you'll see being teched into side decks, just for its crazy effect. I call it crazy. It's really good. Of literally just making sure everything has to be face up. And if I recall, it's face up and battle positions of monsters can't be changed. Which is good. Which is really good. Lord help us if we ever get the last warrior from another planet, because then your opponent's not doing anything. I mean, literally. But yeah, that'll be really cool to see what happens. I'm excited, even just to play online with Speed Duel stuff. I'm more excited to get back into physical Yu-Gi-Oh! Again. All aspects of it, Master Duel, Speed Duels, I'm sure everybody is, but yeah. I still want Dark Paladin too, Billy. Promise me. Promise you. I promise you. Not promise. Don't promise me, but I promise you. I want it to. It would be fun. It'd be scary, but it'd be fun. It definitely would be fun. Seeing something like that, especially, you know, if they print that, they would have to print it in the tournament packs as an ultra, so like that would be another thing to see. It'd be even cooler if they printed it as you know, both arts, and you could get both of those arts as a certain rarity in tournament packs. Especially if they're lacking a certain extra card or something like that, that'd be awesome. But you know, that's wishful thinking, right? You know, we might get Dark Paladin, especially if we're going to be going in Battle City arcs. Maybe the 3rd or 4th box. Perhaps probably the 4th box. I could see that happening. Just for thematic reasons. But then again, who knows? So, yeah. That's what they've introduced. Super excited. I say that a lot, but I am super excited. I'll be playtesting a lot, just trying different things, and then hopefully the EDO Pro will update eventually with the skills and everything, so start testing more with that. It's interesting to think that it took, what, since December, right? So it's May, 5 months to get out of moth format. So yeah. What character would I want to be on the next skill? I'm assuming you mean new character. So for the next set itself, I mean, obviously one of the easiest ones is saying, oh, I want Esperoba, right, as a new character. Because other than that, there's not much. You could say I want Strings or what's his name, Arcana, or as they call it in the OCG, Pandora, I believe. That'd be fun to see. So probably one of those three, more or less probably Pandora or Arcana, I guess. I would like to see him as a card. Skills, obviously more Dark Magician support. I'm 100% behind that. Regarding recurring characters skills that we already have, I don't want to see Mako Tsunami anymore. Oh yeah, Luma and Umbra. Yeah, that would be great to see too. Especially since we have in the Merrick structure deck, we have that four-faced beast or whatever it's called. That's related to their decks. That's cool. That's a possibility then. But regarding recurring characters, again, I don't want to see Mako. I'd like to see maybe Kaiba. I'd definitely like to see Joey. Better skills, perhaps. Something on par with the Today's My Lucky Day. That was really good. I'd like to see... Who else would I like to see that's already came back? More Shizu. That'd be cool. But the problem is that you're going to have to lock that into Gravekeepers. Obviously, I'd like to see a continuation of Bakura and Merrick. There's just so many options and possibilities, right? More Kaiba, always more Kaiba. Good Kaiba skills, please. I don't know who else, but those are some really good characters. Tristan would be fun to see with some Battle Guard cards. Yeah, I can see that. I can either see that or some type of Thunder cards, because they always portray him with Thunder cards. Mokuba. I want Mokuba. You're right, Billy. I want Mokuba. That's a real thing. And oh yeah, Cyber Commander. That's one of his signature cards. But yeah, I'd like to see. Again, there's a lot of possibilities that they can take with this. The thing is, according to Mr. Bell himself, is that he has to literally get permission from the OCG for every little thing he does, which is amazing, especially if it's, for being the department that it is, for Speed Duels being so small. That's crazy. But I can see why. Using any card or art has to be requested and accepted by OCG Konami, which is interesting. That's a little bit of information he said. He told us on the Discord that he runs for Speed Duels, so we'll see what happens. I think characters would be one of the bigger things that he has to kind of be asking for. Can I use the intellectual property and image of this character? So it's cool. Has skills up an article now, by the way. Good. It's a lot easier for people to find. So go and look at those if you haven't watched the video or you somehow managed to skip the video after it's been uploaded. Go look. But yeah, that's crazy. I can't believe, honestly, when you get new skills, there's, from structure decks at least, there's not a lot. I saw the Rush Duel promos, the Red Eyes ones, yes. Beautiful. I don't care what people say. I loved it. I thought it was cool. And while I may not personally like Speed Duels, not Speed Duels, while I may personally not like Rush Duels, I personally don't like rush duels myself. I do see it as a nice way to get some cool card art, right? Um, um, from what I can tell, that people played online rush duels from the TCG, they found themselves just playing dragons automatically because it was the better deck. Was it dragons or magicians? One of the two. Spellcasters. I forgot which one it was because they were just complaining about it. Um, it was just felt like they were like the same thing that happened for our last format for Speedos, where people were just complaining about Moth format. Yeah, like I get like there's only two decks out and then one booster set. It's cool, but like I already feel like this isn't good because a lot of people were like, "Oh, my card resources, my management, and stuff like that," and that threw a lot of people off, especially really like veteran players, people that have been playing a long time. They were just like, yeah, I didn't have to worry about card management or resource management or anything like that. I literally didn't have to care because they were just replenishing the hands because you draw 5 on your new turn. Um, which is one of the main things that turned me away from rush duels was just the drawing the 5, not being deep about like resource management or anything, but literally just drawing 5 is like, no, this isn't my thing because it literally allows for turnarounds too quickly. That's not my favorite type of thing. Changing game states, rapid changing game states, is not my cup of tea. Um, but I understand why people enjoy it. It's different. I just wish they felt the same way about speed duels. I think speed duels got a bad rep from people who didn't know anything about the game before it even came out or was out for a week or 2 weeks, and it just put everybody off and turned them away from it. But I'm hoping with these upcoming sets that people will go, oh, maybe it's worth a look at. Um, I'm still recommending people for it. Yeah, but we call. I saw that too. The dragon looking thing. Yeah. Like I said, I keep up with it and I read the stuff and to see if there's a point where maybe I jump in. But kind of like the people that I guess look at Speedo sometimes and go, maybe I'll jump in here. Um, Same thing. But it looks good. Looks interesting. The card art is fine. I do like some of the redesigns for like the older cards, like mountains and stuff like that. So it has value. It's not like it's like trash. Obviously the blue eyes art, the red eyes art, it's nice. Like I'm not bashing that, but I am saying I just don't like rush duels. I wouldn't play it at this point in time. Um, Besides, we already have our own rush duels. It's called speed duels, and people should play it. But yeah, excuse me. I'm can't wait to see what happens. Like I said, I'll be doing everything that I need to do. I like the levels, show the number. That's all I know about rush duels. Yeah, that is cool. It feels more ergonomic and fluid and mainstream. And card economics and design is a big factor when people play card games. It's how the cards look, how easy it is to read, and that is one thing Rush Duels has going for it. Is it did make it easier to be like, hey, don't have to count stars. I don't have to memorize how many stars there are. It says it. So that's really cool. I like how they enlarged the picture too by rearranging where things are. Getting rid of a name text box is a great idea. But yeah, Dark Magician as a legend is kind of nuts because most of the cards that require 7s wrote Magician. As for the 7 plus, which of course it does. That's true. I don't know. Like I said, originally when I heard about Rush Duels, I was so against it that I was just like, don't even want to pay attention to it. I was like, no, that's ignorant. Shouldn't do that. Go ahead and follow it. You don't have to play it, just follow it, right? And it's still not for me at the moment, but card art design, stuff like that, yeah, I enjoy it. And I'm glad that I gave it a chance to actually at least look at it. I even started watching the anime for it, and I was like, yeah, this is alright. It's not as bad as people thought it was going to be. Opening song is catchy as hell. And the storyline so far is alright. I find it Not the most interesting, but it's watchable. It's not as bad as I thought it was going to be, where I was like, this is ridiculous. I'm never going to watch this. But again, gave it a shot, and it's not bad. And I've been following it just to follow it. Roid card, no expect to be. Yeah, I saw that. Definitely interesting. I hope it does well. I think that's the best I can say about it. I hope it does well. And going forward, I'll continue watching it until it just becomes not worth watching, which is what I did with Zexal. I watched it for a little bit, and then I just grew accustomed to not liking it. And that's why it'll always end up at the bottom of my list when comparing all the animes for them, but that's just my opinion. But yeah, on the Master Rule side of things, I'm not doing much except playing Tinnies. So yeah, I think I've said that last time anyway. And helping buy out cards, but yeah. Numeron gates are fucking canceled. We shouldn't have them. We should never have them. There should not be a card that allows you to special summon 4 monsters at a turn that allow you to OTK. That's not a fair card. You should not have... Better yet, you should not have multiple ways to pull off that card. Right? You shouldn't have a field spell card for it, and you shouldn't have multiple ways. You shouldn't even have an archetype monster that searches that field spell cards in that same way. It's literally ridiculous. It's just not something that should have been designed. You want to design the card to summon the 4 Xyz monsters? Fine. That's fine. Leave it at that. Didn't need a field spell. Didn't need... And if you're going to make the field spell, it should have just been... You don't have to detach for the Xyz monsters. But making it as good as it was and is, right? It had no right to be that good. But yeah. Here's a Shooter's effect. Special summon something from the deck, then ashed it. They ashed my ash. They ashed my ash. Yeah. I like Tinnies. They're fun. I haven't had fun with a combo deck in a while. I enjoy it. I was supposed to put up a video already of the replays for the Tinny deck that I did, but it's taking longer than I thought to do stuff, do personal things and everything like that. So, but as soon as those structure decks for speed deals comes, god damn, my nose itches. As soon as those structure decks come for the speed duels, I will be filming and opening one video and uploading it ASAP, and we'll see how that goes. But again, if nobody wants to wait and watch for that, then they should go and search for the guy who's already opened the structure decks, because there's one person who's opened both of the structure decks. But yeah. Also, the Numeron gates are going to get Utopic Zexal ban. Here's what I say, right? I say you don't ban Utopic Zexal, right? Because the problem itself isn't Utopic Zexal. It's the cards that allow you to have access to Utopic Zexal. And that's something that's always been a problem when Konami bans cards, is they don't... Whenever they ban something, they don't ban the problem card, right? They're always banning something else that's being abused in that strategy, right? Something like with the Supreme King Starving Venom card that was used with the Lyra Lusk, right? Should have just banned Lyra Lusk. I mean, obviously you can still abuse things with other things, but it's just but it always seems like they ban the end result instead of the cards that lead up to that end result, which isn't a big problem because it stops it from happening ever again in the future. But at the same time, there is a certain responsibility you should take on for creating a newer card that makes an older card better, right? You should have seen the fact that you have 12 to 13 ways to get those monsters onto the field, and either, if you're going first, A, summoning Utopic Zexal, or B, going into attack for gain by just attacking with the monsters. And even then, you could do that and then summon Utopic Zexal. So, you know, normal summoning once after what happened is terrible. It doesn't make it bad. It just says, oh, we can't overextend, you know. We can't do crazy things. But Eldritch doesn't really care. They could just go for, you know, the monsters that they have there and attack or summon the Golden Lord and just do all their attacking and set their back row, and those Xyz monsters go away. And then if something happens to the Eldritch Lord, they can summon another 4. So yeah. Who wanted appliance series versus a random pack filler? You're not wrong. I'll give you that. You're not wrong. I'll give you another question. Who the fuck asked for Mech Lords? I'm not complaining. I think Mech Lords are great. I used to play them when we had the Synchro era stuff. But they were never good then. Are they going to be good now? Kind of, maybe not. It's worth looking into. But with seeing a lot of things like Dragoonity getting a structure deck, it brings me hope that we'll see a lot of synchro decks come into, you know, into meta relevancy play, and you know, Mech Lord steals a top here or there. That'd be cool to see. I'm all for, you know, certain decks stealing tops at certain events every once in a while. It's fun because people go, oh, you know, and everybody hops on the bandwagon, and then it never tops again until everybody loses interest. So, but yeah, I don't think there's anything else that I helped buy out. Oh, I helped buy out Phalanxes today. But that's Master Duel. I find that very different than Speed Duels. Let me just explain, right? I don't buy them out to buy them out, right? I buy my playset because I know they're going to be bought out. That's it. But yeah, at least Mech Lords look cool if it's the pad cover. Numeron gives Mech Lords, yeah. And then there's Appliancers. You're not wrong. You're not wrong, but and then there's Appliancers. That's a great way of explaining it, but yeah. Another note, I'm looking at it right now. I have finally sleeved and put all the old cards that I have in top loaders, which I'm super excited about because I'm going to be going back to playing Go format. That's not Go format, but that's not Go format, and that's not Go format. That's half Go format. This stuff, though, once everything's backing up, I'm going to be finding some Goat format tournaments and whatnot, physical tournaments, and I'm going to be wanting to play in those again, too. So, if anything, I'm kind of just getting back into the love of Yu-Gi-Oh! In general that I haven't had in a while. And I truly feel like what's going on, the pandemic and everything, really reignited that. Made me miss it. So, I'm sure we all miss some portion of Yu-Gi-Oh! At least. Except maybe Dylan. Dylan still hates it. He still calls the game trash, so he's not wrong. I have Fossils. That's the other one for the for that pack. Yeah, you're right. It's not Mech Lords. It's Fossils, which I don't want to talk about. Who the hell asked for fossils? No, people actually asked for Fossils. Well, it's cool though. You know, talking about who the hell asked for. Who the hell asked for Dragoonities? The thing is, what people brought up is that they're just remaking the old structure decks, right? Just revamping them. And if they continue in order, the next one are the agent cards. I'm excited about. I played agents back in, what was that, 2012? 2011, 2012, something like that. And I love that deck, so I'm super excited. Buy out your Master Hyperions and everything right now. Your Earth Agents or whatever they were called. Agent of Mystery Earth. Whatever they were called. Buy it all out now. And, but yeah, buy out all the agent cards. It's a terrible idea. Don't do that, but no, it's not a bad idea. It's an alright idea. Buy them out. You didn't hear it from me. Buy out your playset. But I enjoy that deck. I can't wait to see what they do with that eventually, 6 months down the road or 3 to 4 months down the road. But god damn, my nose itches. Yeah. Oh, I do want to share this. I was looking through all my old stuff, Yu-Gi-Oh stuff, and in some boxes, see if I can grab one without actually getting out of this chair. In the boxes, I found some old Yu-Gi-Oh! Masks. Dragmas, great engine for a lot of things. Amazing engine for a lot of things. Spell books. There's a lot. But no, like I said, I was going through all my old stuff, and I found some mats. Oh no, this thing's on it. Here we go. I found some mats from back when I used to play a lot. One of the ones that really hit me was the one from the Pyramids Gold Edition, and unfortunately, it didn't survive as long as I wanted it to, because it looks like from the heat of the storage units that it went through for the last 8-9 years. The back got vulcanized right down the middle where it was creased. So you can see it's chipping and peeling. But it is vulcanized, and it's super hard. You can tell it's still rubber. But it's super hard. You want to talk about Monster League? Or Battle Packs. Not Monster League, Battle Packs. I never got into Battle Pack 3, but I'll tell you what I did get into. I got into the first Battle Pack one. Demok, Pearl, Gagaga, the Archfiend, and then the Ancient Gear Soldier. I love this thing. I'm going to be using this for speed duels from now on. I love it. This one survived. And I did manage, when I was younger, to get into, or Knight, yeah, this was called. I did get into Battle Pack 2, War of the Giants. And thankfully, I kept not just the Slifer one, and the Obelisk one, but also the Raw one. So, I don't know. Maybe eventually we'll do a giveaway or something. I don't know. I don't know if I want to part with these. That's just the thought. Maybe eventually, if we get to enough subs, I'll think about parting with all of these, and giving 3 winners or something. Because they're not that expensive. You know, I can always replace them. Or I can buy new ones and give those away. Whatever, right? But yeah, definitely the first Battle Pack one is probably my favorite. But I thought I'd share that. I found those. I found Super Polys from the old Cyber Dragon structure deck in my in one of my old boxes. I found 2 of them. I don't know where the 3rd one is. I found some Metamorphosis spell cards for GOAT format. You know, like, where did that come from? The Quantum Cat mat was really cool. I like that one, and I like the Forbidden cards, the Forbidden Dress, Lance, Chalice, the ones that had that little art on them. I like that one too. But yeah, the Quantum Cat and that one I really enjoy. Fairy Cheer Girl one, yeah, it's alright. I like it. I don't think there's a bad one per se. But I like them all. They're cool. If I could find them, I'd buy them. I'm sure they're on TCG Player. Maybe not. I don't know. But I'd buy them. They're cool. They're alright. But yeah. What else did I find? What else did I find that was just... I was like, why the hell is this in here? Oh, Shockmasters. If the Godless Day, if those ever come back. Trying to see. I'm looking over here. There's a... You know what? I'm just going to grab this stack. Hold on. Okay. Yeah. Found Super Polys. The hero cards, the H's, the E's, R's and O's, Doppel Warriors, Artifact Lancias. Dylan told me to tell you something about some type of raffle, and I couldn't read it all. Dylan, can you send that text again if you're still watching this? Oh, I found some old Malefic cards. That was cool. Something about a raffle. I don't know what Dylan's talking about. Apparently we're doing a raffle. I need to see what it is before I actually say yes, we're doing a raffle. I found some old Utopia stuff. Just some... Oh, this was cool. It's a fake Seto Kaiba card. This came from Mexican Town at a dollar store in Dallas because real cards are too expensive. I'm gonna read it to you just because it's funny. It says, from the beginning of the duel, you can select a race, and then all monsters in your deck, your hand and field, are changed into that race you have selected. I don't know what the raffle prize is. I'm waiting for Dylan to text me again so I can read that, because it went by way too fast. I caught the end of it, and all I read was tell the stream that we're having a raffle for 4 winners or something like that. What it was for, I don't know. I couldn't read it. So if Dylan is still here or somewhere, he should type it again to let me know. I don't know. Is this going to interrupt the stream? Did that interrupt it? I don't think it did. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Is the stream still? Okay. I'm just making sure the stream doesn't go off. Tell stream we're doing a raffle for 4 winners. You get to choose a format of their choice, and the team gets to play against a viewer who win the raffle. Also, the viewer who won the raffle gets something else. I can't read. It's something else like that. But yeah. Apparently that's the raffle, is 4 winners get to choose a format and play against us, and the winners also get something else. That's not a bad idea. It allows you to interact with us. It allows us to make more videos. It allows us to have fun at this time that we're in. But I don't know what the last part of that raffle is. I'm afraid to learn what Dylan is proposing. The first part I'm all right with. We'll see what it is, though. I'll have extra stuff. I'll have extra Speed Duel stuff from the box that I buy, 1 extra of each. I have mats lying around. I don't know what he said was going to be the other thing. They're going to get something else apparently too. I'll make a community post about it once I see. Basically, 4 winners, the team get a choice to play against the winner. Random prize, something fun, you know. Apparently a random prize. I guess we'll determine what that random prize is. I'm fine with that. Hey guys, tell you what. It's too long to make this video to like or whatever, but I'll tell you what. I'll make another video tomorrow, where you can sign up, and we'll do 4 winners, and you get to choose a format, and you get to play against one of the team members, and we'll record that video, and you'll get an extra random door prize. I think that's fine. It's fun, it's interactive, we'll get more videos out of it. So yeah, I'll make another video tomorrow, or tonight if I'm not fucking lazy. I think that would reach people. I think that'd be fun. Yeah, okay, Dylan, good job. Great idea. Comes out of him once every 3 to 4 months. Nah, it's more like once every month. But yeah, that's actually a great idea. So thank Dylan for that one. Yeah, you can pick any format. Goat format, hand control format, chaos format, what's the other ones? Elemental dragon format, dragon ruler format, you know, whatever you want, zodiac format, you know, pick your favorite and we'll play that. Zoo format, yep, that's Dylan. If you pick zoo format, you're playing against Dylan. I don't care who it is. That's one of Dylan's favorite formats. Necros format, that's one of my favorite formats. That's one of Dylan's too. But yeah. We'll, I think what we'll do is we'll also assign formats beforehand to people and to team members, and you know, that'll be determined of who you play. And if there's, you know, too many people wanting one format, we'll just split it up evenly between us or whatever. It doesn't matter. But yeah, we'll do that. I'll make another video for that, showing that off, and we'll think of prizes and stuff like that. I'll talk to him after this stream, and we'll get it all squared away. Asian 99. Yeah, it says race. I'm sure they meant typing, but it says race. From the beginning of the duel, you can select a race, and all monsters in your deck, your hand, and your field are all changed into that race you have selected. It's pretty funny. It's like one of those old, real fake cards. So, I don't know. If you want this as a prize, we can send this off as a prize too if you sign up as the raffle and get it. I'm fine with that. I think we'll do something along the lines of like the video and comment your favorite format, and that'll also be the one that you choose as your format. So that'll be a lot of fun. We'll find prizing. Don't worry. We'll definitely find prizing. But yeah, I think that's it for me. Talked about all the skills and everything. Talked about new stuff that's going on, and that's about it. I just had one of those. Obviously, fate here as it was a Pegasus on that text. You add any card from your hand to your deck, if I remember right. I remember having, I think it was a Yugi one or a Joey one as well. They were crazy. Fake cards were wild back then. Now they're trying to actually make them look real. But fake cards back then were wild, man. But yeah, we'll continue doing raffles and giveaways and stuff like that if we can. For sure, we'll definitely do the online dueling thing for certain subscribers and stuff like that. Like I said, I'll make a new video tomorrow. We'll get that all straightened away and fixed. So, yeah, that's gonna be it for me. Talked about everything I need to and want to talk about, and yeah, it's gonna be Kevin with what is this? Crescent Moon Rising now is what it's called. And if you like this video and you want to what do you call it? Help us, support us, you know, show the videos to your friends. Obviously, share it, give it a like, all the usual stuff. So yeah, until next time, that's gonna be it from me, and I'll have the video up tomorrow sometime. I'll talk with Dylan right after this. So yeah, next time, guys, see ya.